So we entered the trade at 734 even. We're risking that little low volume node there, and we're targeting 734 or 743 just before the 75 DRT. We're getting a little bit of a rejection there at the London high. We made a 1 minute swing high. If we can't break through that, then I may go ahead and just close the trade. Had a pretty good run on the 1 minute. We were kind of extended from the 200. Yeah, this 1 minute fair value gap up here at the top that held once. Needed to hold again. Okay with a rebalance, but I don't want to see it break too hard. There's a rebalance. I do have our order blocks down here. We may need to come down into, which not real thrilled about that, but seven 30.25. Okay, go one tick below that. 730.25 is this low volume node shelf. So one tick below that. So we get back into that low volume node, it could just blast right back through it. So it's risking 4 points. Not too bad. I can let that run. Let it run. 4 points on one contract, $100. 200 bucks, $50 a point. Color change off the 21. See if we can go ahead and go up and pop it. We go ahead and add to the trade here. Pull my stop up below that 1 minute low. Because if we don't pop after a push off the 21, then I would expect we might not pop. So right now I pulled my stop up to around 730, 733.75. Yep, right down just above the 21. So 75. Yeah, if we make a lower high here, we could come back down into these order blocks, but I'm not going to risk that much with this early in the morning before the open. I'm just looking for a small pop above the London high. And that way, if we do get a pop above London high, I can go ahead and take one contract off and leave a runner if we retest and hold above, heading up for those value area highs that I was looking for. All right. All right, we're back. With some milk. With some milk. Uh, that's why. Okay. We didn't have our group turned on, so we only took that trade in the account we made money on last night. Um, I still have our full $3,000 drawdown since it's the same day, and we are still $987 in profit. So we're good there. I went ahead and added. Uh, I've got 4 accounts. I'll be copy trading 2 accounts at a time. These are evals. Just picked up these 3 new ones last night on the 90% off. Don't know if that is still going on, but you can definitely go over Legends trading and uh, so let's just uh, the legendstrading.com. The 100K. All right. All right. YM didn't quite break the London high yet. NQ has not broken the London high. Yes, did. Everything's looking pretty close to the same. ES did come back and retest this value area high. I rejected off of it. See what happens here at the open. We've got a low volume node down here. I'd like to see us push down into that. We're looking at just the current push it up, which would mean this 10-minute gap here would hold. We look at the 15. We just made two fair value gaps. We've got this high volume area up here where we rejected from on ES. YM, we've got a high volume area up here around 46,717. That's going to have to break through that previous value area high. We've got another value area level up there, 46,916, just above the 25 DRT. We are back above the 50% into premium pricing, so just gonna have to watch that. Yeah, Project X, Amazon uh, Web Services went down this morning, so Project X is having difficulties. Um, I would hold off on any trades until you don't see. Yeah, they're just talking about two 35 TVs going to be the guys that are trading there are going to be uh, really tight on what they do until they see that there's no problems with Project X. Tradeify was supposed to be getting on with Project X to make sure it was stable again, but they haven't announced anything on it yet. Yeah, yeah. Even I'm going to be really cautious. I'm not going to trade during the highest volume period because if it glitches out, then I'm not on. I don't know what Legends would do with that. I don't know if they would fix it, and you know, erase the losses or what. So I'm just going to be let the market die down a little bit, let the volume die down, make sure nobody's having any problems. There's a tap of the value area high, or that could be a value area low from, yeah, that's the value area low. Well, value area high from 2 days ago. And then we have the value area high from October 15th up above that. That's a pretty strong push on the 15 minute through that value area high. If we get through this low volume area here, we definitely could move up to this one. We've got a high volume area. Again, up there at 46,737. See if we can get through that. But we need to make a shelf up here somewhere. So right now the shelf of this low would be around 46,582, which is right around the high, right at the London high. So let's see if we can hold that London high, or if we're just going to have some single prints up here for the morning. 10 minutes left on the 15-minute candle, so there's still a lot more volume than down here at the low, Asia low. Around the Asia low is our extreme low volume node for the day. Yeah, yeah, Tradeify still hasn't confirmed stability with Project X yet. So yeah, not gonna do much this morning. Uh, there's a lot of people not being able to log into Project X right now, so and I would imagine Tradeovate is also running on AWS servers, so not gonna take the chance of placing a trade and having a glitch that causes a big loss. I do kind of like longs here. So we are building up some volume up here. Um, unless that volume starts heading into negative delta to where we get back through this low volume node that's now been created. Um, I kind of like that shelf at 46,598. So looking for 46,600 to hold here. See if we can push up a little further up to this next volume area high or even the 25 DRT level. Hey, Missy girl. Oh, don't knock over my light, baby. Hey, baby. You're gonna knock it over. Stop. Oh, let's see if we can get her in the frame here. Come here, baby. Oh, yeah, there's my Missy girl. There's my Missy girl. There's my Missy girl. Oh, you shedding like crazy. Oh, you shedding like crazy. Yes, you are. All right, baby. Off. Good girl. Go lay down. Go lay down. So, folks, you know, all I can say is I just this kind of morning when we know that there's issues with the servers, just like everybody else on all the other streams are telling you, you know, it's really just not worth taking a trade and risking having that glitch until the prop firms can, you know, identify whether or not they can get that stability back. Uh, Tomorrow's going to be another day to trade. I'll certainly sit here, you know, if we do get an announcement from the prop firms that they have verified the stability, then we could look for a trade. But until then, no matter you know what the market looks like for levels, I'm just not comfortable putting in those trades right now. So we did reject that. Uh, so far, we've rejected that previous value area high up here at 46,630, but 600s are holding. Uh, we filled in a little bit of that low volume node, but picked up a lot of volume right there. Uh, so we'll see if we go back out a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, we pushed right into this low volume node here and have rejected off of it for the time being. We also do have this 15-minute fair value gap up here that previously held that we just rebalanced. So if we just rebalance that and we need to go take some liquidity from the downside, then I would be looking at down here around the New York low to swipe that, and that would get us to the touch of the current value area low um, from the overnight session. There we go. High volume area there. high volume area there. That's what the red bars are. They're just high volume areas. Um, I mean, the market looks strong this morning, so we certainly could go take uh, this 15-minute high here and get into and rebalance this fair value gap right around that high volume area there. Or we could just fall off after taking these swing highs here uh, and come back into fair value gaps below us. So just kind of letting the market shake out and see what it wants to do here. Uh, we got an immediate rebalance on the 1 minute there off of the 21, color change off the 21 after spiking up from this morning. And let's see, we do the push off this morning to the current high. 50% of that push is holding pretty well, so looking to probably uh, go break highs again, or just stay in this range. Um, yeah, if we make another lower high here, we could pull back, maybe hit the 6270 and go up, but the 21's holding for the moment at the 50% level, so and we got the immediate rebalance there. So uh, if I was looking for longs, this probably would have been a really good place for it. Uh, they color change off the 21 and the 50% with an immediate rebalance. Uh, so that was a good 15-minute candle there. See if that creates a fair value gap. Point of control for the New York session so far is at 46,612. And there's a break of in the 1 minute high there. So that would have been so far a pretty good trade. So like I said, I did like that area for a long. Let's just, if we'd entered at the close of that immediate rebalance candle and risked the body of this 21 hold, 21 color change, and 21 halt, that would have been a 45-point stop, just a little bigger than what I would like, but at the opening, it's not a bad uh, stop loss. And if we were going to go up to this next high volume area, then we would be looking at a 2-to-1 trade there. So let's see if we can get up there. So we are looking, uh, let's go back out so we can get the volume areas here. So we do have a shelf right up there at this 15-minute high, right around 46,698. So we'd want to see 47.7 broken um, and kind of holding above. I think at that 46.7 area, I would probably be looking to move my stop to break even in case it does not break through. get to that high volume area, which, maybe pushing the stop a little bit early. Um, but that is a big even number, 46,700. So we'd have to see, how that reacts. And that would, we're past 1 to 1 at this point. Now, at this point, I wouldn't want to move my stop because the the 1 minute 9 and the 1 minute 21 are still below my stop. I could move the stop up a little to reduce risk. I wouldn't want to move it right to the 21. I want to give it a little bit of space. And, that's just, that's not that big of an area. So I just leave my stop where it's at. Um, After the 50% holding, we could come back down and retest the 33 before moving up, which would be right around the 21 again. If we can get a color change off the 9 here, then we're going to be pretty close to target. And I would be certainly willing to uh, move my stop up to break even if we get this color change, because we would be getting the color change right around 46,679. And we've had our pullback towards break even. So we did invert this gap up here, but 1 minute gap, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to go ahead and log into paper trading on here just so I can create an order for what that trade would have been. Oh, by the way, my swing longs on Tesla and Celestica are in profit by $52,000. Kind of neat watching that. Um, I lost about $50,000 on that account, $45,000 on that account, day trading, just doing some crazy stuff. Uh, but the swing I put on uh, has done really well. And this is again why I wouldn't have wanted to move my stop unless we got that color change, because I still want to give this trade a little bit of room to work. We are still holding above that previous value area high that we broke. That's a pretty big pullback on that 15-minute candle. Uh, see if it goes back up in the last half of the candle. Switch the 15 over to the 1 real quick just to see where our ATR is. So we're at about 28 points on the 1 minute candle. For the average. Of course, includes the big 1 minute candle push off from the open. Let's see if we hold the 21 here. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to hold the 21. See if the 33% holds. If that doesn't hold, then we may be coming back for the 62 or 70, which would stop us out. Well, I take that back because if we actually have to move that now because we made a new high, then we're at the 33. We're back at the 50% of the entire move for the morning. 6.2 and the 7.0 would still take us out of this trade. Um, Pretty good push off of the 50% area, but now we are flattening out on our uh, short-term moving averages. We are back at a high volume shelf for the morning. Six minutes left in the 15-minute candle. Let's see if we hold above that value area, previous value area high. No. So if we fall below this lowest down candle on the 1 minute, um, yeah, and the 7.0 doesn't save us here, uh, I could definitely see us coming all the way back to the 200, or maybe even lower at that point. Um, we do have not sure what I had that marked. I'm gonna take that off. We are getting to the New York value area low here, and we would have gotten stopped out on that trade. Okay, and that was a pretty strong push on the 1 minute to the downside. We may just be rebalancing that first gap, which we came really close to. Um, but that is the overnight value area. Oh no, that is the New York, sorry. The 7 o'clock open. So that is the New York value area low that we're coming down to. Oh, dang. Tradify is going to give away 350K straight to funded accounts. Jump over to Tradify TV, guys. Uh, keyword giveaway and Tradify TV chat. So mm, 10 o'clock. Just checking my notifications on my phone. Normal life. All right, we're in the giveaway. Faceless president is the keyword. Got about 1,100 people watching at the moment, so uh, chances aren't great, but never know. Would love to win a 50K straight to funded account. We're holding below that previous value area high. Um, so that was a bit of a rejection. If we make this 15-minute swing high here, then we certainly could possibly be headed back down. We just created a high volume node uh, right here at current price level on the 15 minutes. So we'll kind of see, you know, does that high volume node break to the upside or the downside? Um, Looking at our delta, we have these highs here on the 1 minute. Looks like delta is going to break this delta high, but does price actually break uh, break this high as well. So that's something to watch. Um, that down push was certainly a delta divergence. Okay, so if we take a look and draw our lines here, let me just move this out of the way. Um, delta was up here off the open and fell off a bit, but price from this high went up. So this, as soon as we got that first red delta candle, um, and the first red right price candle, that would have been a good spot for a low if you were using delta divergence on that, and could have very well taken it back to the volume, uh, the New York volume area low. So that would have been a really nice trade there. We were in the long at that moment and wasn't really watching delta divergence. Uh, but if we were to take that short, we could have entered there, risked risked the high, 33 points. Would have loved that, under 40 points, and front run the previous area a little bit. That would have been almost a 3-to-1 trade there. Uh, so I'm going to, since this is a trade I should have taken, I'm going to mark that up as uh, a possible trade, not an actual trade, right? All right, let's see if we win a Tradify account here. I'm just going to that turn on that mic so you
All
guys
right.
can hear the giveaway.
Cool. Thanks for the input. All right, the giveaway bot is up. So, Drew, let's pick the first winner of a 50K Lightning Funded. Let's do it. All right, first winner is Hulk Smash 30. I love that name. Hulk Smash 30. Please type something in the chat so we see you're there. Also, everybody who's still typing faceless president, you can stop. You cannot enter the giveaway anymore. Hulk Smash 30. Type something in the chat. Hey, there he is. Says, let's go. Nice. All right. Make sure to add your email address to your YouTube channel description so we can reach out to you and send you your free account. Now, Drew, let's pick the second one.
No, didn't get the second one either. Hardy Sammy.
Second one is Hardy Sammy. Hardy Sammy. Have something in the chat as well. Congrats.
Nice.
There you go. I'm falling behind a little bit. Let's speed them up.
Anything. You can literally type anything except hello. That you can.
That's a deep cut right there.
He says, let's fucking go. All right, nice. So, Drew, let's pick the third one. Third 50K Lightning Funded account winner.
Didn't win that one either. Kershaw.
That one goes to Kishore. Kishore, you won another 50K Lightning Funded account. Make sure to type something in the chat.
Yeah, no luck.
And then all you three winners, he says, yo, nice. All you three winners, please make sure to add your your email addresses to your YouTube channel.
I will just cut that audio. Well, I keep Tradify TV on. They give away presets, accounts, lots of stuff like that. So always like to keep them up for the giveaways. Uh, all right, so we've broken back above that value area high again. So it looks like that high volume node is moving us to the upside. Delta is coming up. We are higher. We haven't broken these highs yet. Delta has broken it, but price has not. So I'm a little concerned here. Maybe we are losing volume here up here to create this 15-minute swing high. Um, but as long as Delta keeps rolling, uh, again, we do at the moment, um, if we're looking there, we do have another delta divergence in the opposite direction. We have more delta coming in with price at the moment not being able to break the high. Okay, so that's where we're at the moment. So if we have a lot of people buying but not being able to move price up, that means we are getting absorbed by the sellers. Um, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. This could be a lower high on the 15-minute and the 1-minute because we did break structure on the 1-minute. We had a market structure shift here, closing below these lows. So if we don't break this high and make a higher low, then we should be able to come down and break these lows. We did pretty much rebalance this fair value gap that was made in the morning. Of course, I wouldn't want to trade the divergence until I actually see, price start to reverse on the 1-minute. And right now it's on its way to break that high. So I'm going to give it the chance to do that. Yeah. So Delta has broken the high of the morning open, but price has not yet broken the high. But we are headed for it. So it looks like, we've certainly broken through the 60 or 70 of this down push that broke structure. So So pretty nice, pretty nice. Certainly, still not you know, looking at this divergence, um, you know, it is still divergent, but I'd like to see a pullback to the volume area high for the morning into the 1 minute 9 and hold that area. Then we could push up and break that high, and the divergence would then be invalid. So when we're looking at these high volume area nodes up here above us, the reason I would want to see those happen is this was, you know, from these high volume areas, price went down. So I would want to see, you know, are sellers going to defend these areas, or are they going to give up and close their positions if they haven't already, if they have a lot of day trading there? Um, but are these areas going to get defended, or are we going to uh, bust through, hold them, and then move up? Um, when we're looking at the DRT levels, um, you know, we came down into the extreme discount uh, of this area. We never actually filled the opening week gap from last week. Doesn't mean we have to, doesn't mean we're going to. But we did kind of make some equal lows here and left a portion of that gap open. And so what I'm looking for is, you know, what are these high volume nodes going to do since price did move down from them? And you can see um, from the time this high volume node was made, which was an up push, and then came back down, held support for a little while, and then finally just slammed down on this day. And I'm pretty sure that flush was the announcement of the new China tariffs that are going into effect November 1st. And we have kind of made an equal high there, but every time we get there now, it is acting as resistance. So does it still act as resistance, or are we going to break back above, um, especially this high volume node right here? This is a very, very big support and resistance area, okay? Right around that 46,836 area. So we do have a couple of lower volume, but still high volume nodes. And I'll show you why I say they're high volume nodes with this indicator, Lux Algo Volume Bubbles and Liquidity Heat Map. If I've turned the medium and low volume areas, it's still high volumes, but if I turn on um, all of them, say, you know, I have turned these off. So that's the medium, and that is, you know, the low volume areas, lower volume areas. Okay, volume has to be a minimum about for it to create one of these. You'll have some areas that are just completely gray, which are very low volume. Okay, there's wasn't enough volume to even make them blue. So the way I use this heat map is that I just turn the opacity down on the low and the medium, and so that lets me see only the very high volume areas on the chart. Okay, and when those areas line up with the other levels, then I can have a really good idea when we get to those areas to see how price reacts to it. Do we break through them and then retest and hold, or do we reverse off of them? Uh, and that'll give me a little bit more uh, confidence in the trade that I'm taking, right? So is oh oh I take that back. What? Oh, okay. Never mind. Um, hmm, forget what I just said about that red line. That is the 25 DRT. Um, that is that is where uh, we ended up uh, running our DRT levels from, because you can see all the other levels were in that day as well. Um, so that was the 4-hour high that we moved the DRT levels from. So these high volume areas here are what we're looking for to see what we do with them, right? Um, okay, so just looked at that wrong, guys. Sorry about that. Uh, we do have the high volume area at this volume value area high from a few days back, and then after that, we really don't have any areas. Now, you can change, how long this looks back. And I just started using this indicator for this reason. So I may play with those levels and see, you know, what exactly happens. We did have our market structure shift to the upside now. So this change of character down here, market structure shift has failed because we have made a new high. We did get a color change off the 21 again. So um, that divergence is no longer valid. So we'll delete that one, or delete that one. So far on the 15-minute chart, I really don't see anything interesting. We haven't made a 15-minute fair value gap. Our value area has been holding so far. Uh, Today's probably going to be a good day to head to the golf course and just get a little bit of practice in. So I'm going to take a quick break, everybody. I will be back shortly. All right, we're back. Go. We've broken out of the value area high. We're coming up to those high volume areas. And another value area, previous value area high. Where did it go? There we go. I'll be right back, guys. I don't think I've ever said it on stream, but I am diabetic, so I gotta take care of my blood sugar here for a second. Go grab a shot real quick. Doesn't look like we're gonna do much here at the moment. I'll wait and see. We are in a little bit of a 1 minute uptrend here, which is nice. We really want to see us get up here to these high volume nodes and see what happens there. All right. Haven't quite made it up there yet, but we're getting there. 15-minute 200 is pretty flat, and we are pretty extended up here. We've got pretty much the same distance between the 221 and the 21 and price. So I would be a little worried about that. Yep, because that is seems to be a perfect area for a downturn. We did break these 15-minute highs here, and we are into some lower volume area up here. So uh, I would be a little cautious up here. So we have this high volume shelves. We have just tapped into this high volume shelf at 724, and we have the high volume shelf in the high volume node up here at around 735. Yeah, yeah, I had a couple of good setups, but I'm not going to take them until uh, I'm sure that AWS is back online and stable. All right, man. Okay, so we've gotten through that possible fair value, got through that area, coming up into the value area high here. That was a nice rebalance there off a break. Fair value gap breakout of the consolidation, rebalance. Here's the second green candle after the rebalance. Coming into the second high volume area. Again, we're getting that spread in price on the 1 minute. We do have the 15-minute gap that was made down here at the New York value area high. New York started at 46,430. That is 350 points so far. Be about 400 points when we reach the 25% of the DRT. gonna sell one here. Oh, alright, and I am going to place my stop. We're gonna give it a little bit of room. That was about 830, about 860. We'll do 870. That's 40-point stop from the DRT level. I'd like to see us come back down. Just get us back down to like the 1:09 or even the 1:21 would be good. Um, or retest this value area high that we broke through. If we do get a 15-minute fair value gap through this level, then I would be looking to actually go higher. I know the market has been pretty much just screaming up at the moment, which, taking a short isn't, it might not be the best idea, but I think we can get a pullback from this 25% level before breaking through it. We are coming into the London close as well. Kind of waiting to see what we do with the 9 here. I would like to see us break below it and try to push down to the 21 here. If we do get a color change off the 9, then I very well may just close that trade. We are staying below the 9 here. So we'd like to see us get through this fair value gap here. Okay, I do like that push. See if we can get back down to this high volume area. We do have a low volume node shelf that we could touch right here. It could be just a manipulation move below the pullback to go higher, so we're going to watch it. We do have our finger on the button here. We did break above the 9 there, but the 9 is flattened out a bit, so I just want to kind of see if that was a push up to kind of get some people in some longs, see if we can stop them out. Still looking to kind of come down and touch the 21. So that was a bearish 180 off of the 9. See if we can break this low. I do have my finger on the triggers to pull out of this trade. So that was a bear 180 off of 46,831. Um, so 46,831 is going to become my stop, which is basically break even. I'm gonna go ahead and put it down at 29 just so we can cover some contracts commissions there. Actually, that was 831. We'll go one tick above the bear 180 candle there. Let's take a quick look at this push. Okay, so 33 is here. We're kind of holding the 25. 50% would be back down here around 765. If we can get a push down that far. The 21 is coming up to meet us here, so that could be just a sideways movement waiting for that to happen. Push back up. That is the 33%. Let's see if we can push through. Looking to come down to the 50. It is 11 o'clock. Gonna see what happens here. Stratified TVs. Quite funny sometimes. Yeah, we did fair value gap through the bottom of that range. So I would like to see us come down to the 50% if we can't break the 33 here with some strength, which looks like we might be doing a little bit here. This fair value gap seems to be holding down here. another little strong push here to break that low to get down to 50%. We do have a tiny fair value gap there at the 50%. We can't break that low. 22 seconds left on the 1 minute candle. Okay, I'm going to close the trade out there. Close the trade out there at 530 in profit. No, well, it said 530. Oh, yeah, it was 530 on both accounts. So it was only $259, 260 per account because I was copy trading there. Um, yeah, just not quite getting the push down as hard as I would like. Though we are rolling over on the short-term SMAs here, could be a run back. But we are also having a little bit of trouble with this high volume area, which is also the low volume node shelf. Not saying we're not going to go back down, but we are into this 15-minute fair value gap. We are back at this previous value area high. So a good spot just going to get out of the trade. We are getting our push down to 50% now. But we are back in this low volume node that could reject. We also have, yeah, we have a high volume shelf that could stop it at right around 46,752. So, yeah, not a big trade per account, but it's a green day. You know, if we weren't having internet issues with AWS this morning, I would have been a lot more comfortable taking some of these trades. You know, especially off of this push up where we came down and then got back above uh, the 21 and 9 here. Definitely could have taken trade there, risking there, never got into the drawdown, and had a really big trade to the upside. But with, you know, not knowing whether or not, you know, the brokerage would hold up and not glitch out, just wasn't comfortable taking a trade that early in the morning with the volume in a high volume area until we figured out whether or not we would or wouldn't have issues. Um, but you know, once we got to this 25 DRT level, I was comfortable with taking a short there because we're typically going to have a reaction. Now it may be a small reaction, and then we go back and we fair value gap back up that. Okay, but the market is strong today. Um, So maybe this is the high of day and we come back down and get into the value area, okay? Because we haven't had a whole lot of, you know, the value area hasn't moved up when we got up here. So we're still in, you know, a low volume area up here, which we could come right back through and get back into the daily value area. If we do that, I certainly would probably look for price to come back down to the low side of the volume area, value area. Down to the 15-minute 21. Okay, we could just come back down in and hit the 15-minute 9 and roll back up, or we may not even get down there because of this 15-minute fair value gap that was made, right? So that's all possibilities, and I'm okay with just taking a small win on the day. It is Monday. We've got the rest of the week to trade, so you know, pretty happy with it. A green day is a good day. And again, like I said, it was a very nice short because we were looking at that 25 DRT level back here where it has become a really big support resistance area. Okay, and on a 15-minute time frame, I mean, we broke through it, but we fell right back below it. Okay, after sweeping this high here, uh, and we're now coming back down. We've hit the 50%. We've got it stalled there a little bit. We could break through, and again, like I said, come back to 6270 and then go back up, or this could be the high of day, and we just start grinding back down to the 200 again. Okay, um, this is the previous 4-hour high that we broke. So yeah, there we got a rebalance off of a color change. Well, a rebalance that's causing a color change if it closes it out that way. We had the color change, my apologies. We had the color change off the 9 here. And we may get an immediate rebalance here. If we can close as a red candle. Doesn't look like we're going to get that rebalance. And we had this fair value gap at the 50% level that we've rebalanced here. So see what we do with the 50% level. We've got a small gap down here at the 6.2 as well. We're still right back here at this previous value area high. With some really good low volume shelves that could hold up. Okay, so this is going to be another 4-hour swing. Okay, that's why I had these marked. I think that's why this one was marked as well. If we take this to the 4-hour chart, yeah, I mean we broke this 4-hour swing here. We haven't quite gotten up to this one. Okay, so that's the previous 4-hour high there, marked out right. So yeah, I mean we'll just have to see. Do we still make a lower high as far as this trend goes? You know, we just came up to a very good 4-hour trend line, right? Which is pretty neat. If we run, yeah, this is our big push down. This is the retest. If we take from the retest and we run down, yeah, we just barely broke through it and pulled back from it. So we do have a pretty good, even if we come from this here and run the tops, you know, we've had one touch, two touch, three touch. We broke through here a little, and we've rejected off of it. We still have, 2 hours and 15 minutes on this candle. So closing and look at where that trend line has touched the price right at the 25 DRT. So if we do get up through this, especially with like a 15-minute fair value gap through the 25 DRT level, which is very, very possible, and then we can definitely use that fair value gap as support to then move up towards this value area high or the midpoint of this DRT level up to all-time highs again. Okay, so I do believe ES and NQ made all-time highs again. If we look at the 4-hour chart here, nope, we did not make all-time highs. In yes, let's see what NQ did on the 4-hour chart. Not quite. It is getting up there though. NQ is getting close. We are in this order block here from this big down push. So we may reject off that a little bit. We have our high volume shelf that was made right here at the pullback. But this is the 25 DRT level again, right? So we could push up into just like ES. Oh no, I'm sorry. I was reading the price, the level. That is the all-time high. So does this high volume node here hold? And we come back and fill in some more of these areas before heading up? We'll have to see. Okay. Let's take this fair value gap off. We're not going to worry about that one too much. But that was a fair value gap at the 50% on the 15-minute time frame, right? So it is showing us that now that we were back above, we fair value capped above the 50% level, and now we could be heading to the high. So we very well, do we break the all-time high on a Monday? I'm not so sure about that. Um, we have fallen over in this order block here, 4-hour order block. So let's just then we kind of see what happens there. We've kind of rolled over on the 1 minute. We have the 1 minute 200 down at 25,188, which would be about 100 points. And that would get us back into this fair value gap for a retest into a low volume area with a high volume node right there, right about the 50% mark of that fair value gap. So that's a really good fair value gap to go retest before we break through all-time highs. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm going to call it a day here. We're at 11:17. It is a nice, beautiful, sunny day, and I would love to go get some short game practice in. So I think I'm going to head to the range and get a little bit of practice in. So got to make a little run to Walmart too for some groceries. So for those that are going to continue to trade today, trade well. And it looks like we've got a pretty exciting week to trade. So, but we do have some big, in fact, let me take a quick look. As we do have tomorrow, we have some, Tuesday we have Visa doing their earnings sometime during the market. I'll double check and see if they've set a time for either pre-market or post-market and announce that tomorrow morning. And Netflix is posting their earnings after the market tomorrow. And then Wednesday, Tesla comes in. That'll be a post-market announcement. Thursday, Microsoft is coming in, and that'll be a post-market announcement. So if Wednesday morning with Visa and Netflix doesn't give us some good trading, definitely Thursday morning and Friday morning we're going to have some really good trades. Procter and Gamble is also um, posting Friday pre-market, so we'll have the residual effects from Tesla and Microsoft, and we'll have Procter and Gamble in pre-market on Friday. So Friday actually should be a pretty good day to trade. So um, definitely be looking towards the end of the week for some movement in the markets because of some bigger companies posting their earnings. That's going to move pretty much all the indices. Um, the really big week is the last week of October, where we get some other Mag 7, Mag 7. So evidently AWS is still having problems this morning. Matt over at Tradeify said that even his internet web browser is taking extremely long load times, just looking up regular websites. So AWS is having some issues this morning. Um, so be careful. Uh, Nick uses Tradeovate, and he has said that he hasn't had any issues with Tradeovate. I did not have any issues with my trade, um, so so that's a little bit of a good sign for us Tradeovate traders that we're not having problems. Um, and but if you are on like a Project X platform, if you do get signed in, I would be very careful today because they're still having some major issues uh, over at AWS on that. So um, look at that. We did come down to the 7.0 and reject it off, but does it go back up? We'll just have to see. It's very possible that we could. Okay, we came down to about 75% so far of that 15-minute fair value gap, and down into that low value node right there. So yeah, that's, I mean, right into the lowest volume node of the morning so far, and that held, which was also this high volume area here. So we very well could head back up there. Um, that's our trend line. We'll have to see if it breaks. But would have been a really good morning to trade if I wasn't worried about the internet issues. But again, you know, tomorrow's another day. We've got some great trading days ahead of us with uh, the earnings that are coming out. So certainly wouldn't be too worried about that. Uh, I do like this for a long. Uh, if we hold above the 50, which so far looks like we're going to, um, it might actually get a rebalance there, back above the 21. The 9 is curled back up. We had the perfect OTE entry for the pullback. Um, and the target on that would be 46,875, which would put us just above the 25 DRT level we have a 4-hour swing here and a previous value area high up here. So uh, if we don't go back up, then it looks like we're also going to fair value gap to the downside. We could, we might not. We have to see. If we do fair value gap to the downside, then we would look for this fair value gap to get inverted and then fall back to the low value area low of the day. But we are retesting the value area high of the day. And if the volume continues building up in here, then the value area for the day, today's session will obviously change. Okay, we have not come back and retested the highest volume of the day to the point of control. So, maybe as the 21 comes up, we go back and test the POC at the 21 and then move back up on the day. We do have the order block here at the point of control. So I'll pull back down into this area. I would certainly be looking for longs from about 624 down to uh, 582. So that's about a 40-point stop there on the YM. That would be a really good trade if we get down there. So just have to see. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and take this trend line off here. Looks like we are pushing back up. We might hit rebalance this gap and not actually make a bearish gap. So everything's looking pretty good. I mean, we had some really good levels to trade today. Again, wish I wasn't as hesitant because of the internet issues. Looks like Tradeovate didn't have any problems today, so but we are ending the day green, so can't complain with that. It's okay if it's not a big day. We'll take what we can get, right? So yeah. So we've been on for about a little over 2.5 hours, so I think that's enough for the day. We'll call it a day at the green here, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Again, trade well, and be careful if you are on your Project X platforms. Have a blessed day, everybody. I'm going to head to the golf course for some practice, and we will see you tomorrow morning for the Open. Take care.